4. He picked up a couple of tenths, but that's well off the pace of even Marcos Ambrose that's right in front of him in 21st, who ran a 39.26.
Tony Raines up next in the 34 car. There was a driver change literally this morning prior to practice. Kevin Conway had been in that car with Extends sponsorship, and got a press release saying that Conway and Extends are suspending their relationship with Front Row Motorsports.
They pulled the decals off that car since early this morning.
Yeah, and that happened just right before practice. I saw Kevin in the garage area. He was carrying some uniforms to the hauler. Pretty much the sponsorship went with Kevin. Now, here's the irony of that. Because pretty much Kevin ran 21 races so far, more than likely.
That's setting the tone, and Clint's trying to rebound from a rough outing at Watkins Glen. He went in there 12th in points, 34 points ahead of 13th. Coming out of there, he is now 13th, 10 behind 12.
Well, this is the kind of thing that we talk about momentum. You can get up here and get yourself a top 1 or 2 starting position. Not only get a good pick for the pit, but you get into somebody else's mind that's back here kind of chasing you, like a Ryan Newman or Mark Martin. They know that they've got to go catch you now because you're starting in front of them. That's a big plus.
Yeah, and what's sad about that whole situation at Watkins Glen, it was out of their control. They broke a trailing arm mount and actually did a pretty phenomenal job of welding that back on, getting out there 3 laps down, got 2 of those laps back by virtue of the free pass. Bobby Labonte back in the 71 car. Bobby was 39th in that practice earlier.
Larry, looks like he may have a tire rub right there on that left rear. I hope it's a tire rub, otherwise he's got something going on.
Definitely saw a little bit of haze of smoke off the back of the car.
It looks to me like he's burning a little bit of paint off that left rear quarter panel, so he's got a left rear fender rubbing just a little bit on that.
Bobby swept the races here in 1995 and he got another win here in August of 99.
And he'll be going to JTG Doherty Motorsports next year, replacing Marcus Ambrose.
Not the qualifying run he was, but you know, to support a little bit about what Jeff was talking about is now we're going to watch Scott Riggs, who's in the 66 car, start his qualifying attempt. We've had 3 races here was caution free. We've had 3 races with only 1 caution, 8 races with only 2, and 10 races with only 3 cautions. So you know that you might not get a lot of opportunities to adjust on your race car by virtue of making pit stops under caution.
Yeah, you talked about that as far as, you know, how it can affect the outcome of this race. And a lot of guys, if they don't have the right setup when they drop the green flag on Sunday, you don't get a lot of opportunities to get it right.
Talked to Scott Riggs on the airplane yesterday on the way out here, and said he had some opportunities he thought working for next year and would love to see him back in whatever series because he's got a great personality and he's a good little driver.
He's got a 176 career start in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Started back in 2004. Has 10 starts here. Actually finished 2nd in this race back in 2005.
Led 13 laps that day.
This team missed the race at Watkins Glen with Dave Blaney, and they've actually missed a few races here of late. And I don't have a great feeling about what I'm seeing on this first lap with Scott. He's probably going to have to go ahead and run that second lap at a 39.78. Feel pretty good about J.J. Yaley's 39.33, but I think if you're slower than about a 39.50 or 60, you might have to sweat bullets for a little bit. It's just so hard to run faster on the second lap here. The engine's getting hotter and hotter. And once you get above about 240 to 250, the power actually starts to go away. But the biggest thing is just the grip of the tires. I think that's what we've been seeing on our guys that only ran 1 lap earlier in the session. By the time you get back to 3 and 4 on the first lap, she's starting to slide around. And you can see him just kiss that wall, but he never rolled out of the throttle, Jeff.
No, he never did. And again, he did a really good job of kissing it so lightly and politely to get him a 20th place qualifying position and pretty much lock himself into the field.
Casey Kane, the provisional pole sitter, while Landon Castle, young driver out of Iowa in the 09 car, is next out.
And he qualified for this race in this race car back in June a couple of months ago.
He's made 2 starts in the 09 car this year and 2 starts in the 71.
And boys, right now, I know he's got 3 and 4 to go, but he's got a pretty good lap going in this 09 car.
Very good lap, Larry. He is going to lock himself in with ease as he comes off of turn 4. He makes it look easy.
Yeah, he's going to be by far the fastest go or go home guy. Landon's going to end up 15th quickest, so he will race on Sunday.
So he's locked. Look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Points leader Kevin Harvick's car in the garage.
Get that thing ready for a couple of practice sessions tomorrow. Get a race ready for Sunday.
Some news surrounding Max Pappas as well. Busy week, busy news week.
You know, it's kind of amazing. You know, it seems like all of a sudden the dam has broke open over a lot of things that were kind of like, you know, wait and see. Now it's starting to happen. Max Pappas, understanding he will be out of this 13 car come Atlanta.
Casey Mears will be in it.
Casey Mears will go in the 13 car, and for, I guess, for the remainder of the season, or at least for one race, and we'll see where it goes from there. But possibility Max will go truck racing here at the end of the year. But a good lap right here by Max Pappas, 21st quickest, locks himself into the field.
Tell you what, these speeds, I think the track is Cartier. He would be the next car to go in, as well as J.J. Yaley, Scott Riggs, and Casey Mears.
Michael McDowell out next in the number 55 car. Did not qualify. This car did not qualify for the June race here.
You know, you and I both were kind of like looking at J.J. Yaley's lap thinking that was going to be pretty good, but right now it's still a little iffy.
Well, it is. You know, Steve mentioned the sun has went in and the grip has went up, I think, on this racetrack all the way around it. Michael was 10th quickest of our go-home cars earlier.
I'm worried for Casey Kane. Jimmy Hicks just put up some notes about Casey Kane. When Russell does that,
It's pretty much been the kiss of death.
It's like the SI cover James.
I think Casey Kane's little old lap's probably pretty safe right now. I think all these next few cars are worried about is just trying to lay a lap down.
Hang on.
That's not going to do it right there.
That car was nervous all the way through the entrance of 3 and 4, and he just kept getting worse the further he went. Now he's got to play 2, and I'm not too sure it's going to get any better.
Yeah, he beats J.J. Yaley as well as Scott Riggs. And that lap will send Casey Mears in the 36 car to the house.
Well, he is flirting with that wall right there off of turn 2. He was close.
Yeah, it only goes downhill more from here. I mean, he's doing what he's got to do, but it's not going to run faster.
We tried to do it again.
Well, he is on the ragged edge.
But this will let Patrick Carpentier in that 26 car. He will race on Sunday. Puts Michael McDowell in the 55 car. We're looking.
Drivers to qualify: Robbie Gordon, Mike Bliss, and Travis Kvapil. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying for Michigan is presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 foot-long subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. Brought to you in part by Mahindra. Visit your local dealer to test drive a Mahindra tractor today. And by Sprint, the Now Network. Well, folks, we're down to it. Last handful of drivers to qualify. Robbie Gordon in the 07. P.J. Jones qualified his 7 car, which was locked into the show. So Robbie trying to get both of his cars in.
Now, Robbie definitely is going to have to run faster than P.J. Jones ran. Right now, P.J. is 42nd at a 39.87. The little green line on our tracker, that represents Michael McDowell. So as long as Robbie Gordon can stay to the left of that green stripe, which right now he's flirting with it, he's going to be okay. He should race on Sunday, so he'll get both his cars in the show. And he is locked in at a 39.18. Evidently, they told him that as soon as he crossed the stripe because he shut her down.
That's all he needed.
But you said it a while ago, when J.J. Yaley ran a 39.33, I felt pretty good about it, but I think the track has just cooled down so much over the last just 10 or 15 minutes.
Mike Bliss driving the 32 car this week, Braun Racing Toyota.
And Mike was just right there on the fence as far as our go or go home cars. He was 8th quickest at a 39.46. So he's going to need to pick it up from that. Need to pick it up probably a couple of tenths at least. Looks in pretty good shape because that green line still represents Michael McDowell in that 55 car at a 39.28.
Well, the one thing about Mike Bliss, and we've seen it in all three series, when it comes to qualifying, Mike is probably one of the best of finding that little extra out of each car or truck, no matter what it is when it comes to qualifying. He's a good qualifier.
Looks like he got through 3 and 4 pretty decent there. Let's see if it's going to be good enough to get him in. And it will not actually lock him in. He ran a 39.31, but that will send J.J. Yaley to the house in that 46 car.
Yeah, it does bump Yaley out, and he is not locked in. So
they'll have a little work to do on the right rear quarter panel, but they will race.
But they'll take it.
Yes, they will.
So final driver out is Travis Kvapil. Has been in every race this year with the exception of New Hampshire. Failed to qualify.
He has to beat a 39.315, which is what Mike Bliss, that 32 car, just ran. You know, I see a lot of surprises in this qualifying session as this is the last car to go, but probably the biggest surprise is not necessarily what's at the front of the field, but what's going to be at the back of the field. Denny Hamlin in the 11 car won this race in June. Right now he's 32nd, and Jeff Gordon is 35th, along with Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's 37th. Right now, Richard Childress Racing, they have all 3 of their cars in the top 11.
Casey Kane looks to score his 18th pole position.
Oh, yeah.
Travis Kvapil, he does himself a good lap there, 39.05. That will lock him in, and that will send Mike Bliss, along with J.J. Yaley, Scott Riggs, and Casey Mears to the house.
Travis Kvapil, 32nd overall. A good clutch effort by Kvapil and his race team at Front Row Motorsports. Second pole of 2010 for Casey Kane. He also took the pole position at the Infineon Raceway out in Sonoma.
You know, Travis Kvapil got Toyota